I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say it's too small, it's too small, it's too small, and then, you know, he need to enjoy his fight. Okay, he deserve it. He deserve it. I like Spence, but you know, I like Spence and all the respect for him and everything. But I knew. I think is the type of fight Terence Crawford is fighter is different. 168, but like I say, like he say, nobody's gonna give me credit for.
There has been a lot of talk in the boxing world about the possible fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford. Users and fans have both had their say on the subject. Crawford first said that they should fight at 158 pounds, which is 60 pounds. The idea was quickly turned down by Canelo, who said he couldn't lose weight below 168 pounds.
Like I said, I've been saying that I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would be.
Canelo and Crawford are both 5'8", which makes the size difference between them seem smaller than it really is. However, the real difference is in their natural weight classes, with Canelo having fought as high as light heavyweight 175 pounds and Crawford mostly in the welterweight division 147 pounds.
You know, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talk. You know, with the right business come across the table, you know, it'll happen. I just be talking, man. Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my abilities. He's a heavy dude, but he's not a big guy. Like, he's 5'8", I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? My arm's longer than his, you know? So that fight would be...
Interview 3. At first, Canelo played down the fight with Crawford. Later, he changed his mind and said he would be ready to fight anyone if it made financial and historical sense.
Crawford's name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if the fight make sense, why not? But he's not in the plan.
He's not in the plan?
No.
Okay. Is there a specific reason for it? Is it because of his size, or it won't do anything for you in terms of pushing you toward your goals?
You know, like I say, if makes sense, maybe. I don't know right now. I just gonna enjoy this fight, and please let me enjoy this fight, and then you gonna know what is next for sure.
In a jokey moment, Canelo is said to have said that the fight with Crawford would be easy money, suggesting that he could make as much as $150 million. One big reason why both athletes want to do a crossover fight is the huge money that would be made from it. Given their fame and history, these numbers show what a big fight this could be.
If it's what I want, I'm gonna take it, you know.
Would you put a rehydration clause in there?
We'll see. I don't like to talk about other fight when I got it.
But you understand, like that's the fight that everyone wants to see. That's the fight that fans want to see you in there with.
I understand that. Same happened with Golovkin.
Yeah, and it happened.
And same happened with Carlos.
And it happened.
And same with Emilio Sanders.
And it happened. I think it happened.
And with Tro. And with Mayweather, and with Cotto.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
During an interview on the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford stated that a fight with Canelo would be the biggest of his career and that money is now a major role in picking his next opponents.
Going up and becoming undisputed against Canelo. Come on, man. I'm flying in the sunset, man. Thank you, boxing God.
That would be it?
That would be it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing get for me. I didn't accomplish everything there is to accomplish in the sport of boxing. You know, there's really nothing for me to accomplish right now. Like, anything... It's about the money now. It's about the money. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not, but the money and to beat Canelo, if that fight was ever to happen, come on, man. Y'all better leave me alone. Leave me alone, man. Call me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
TBC, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what I've been thinking about. I don't know why. You know, I was just like, man, the last few days, I was like, man, I don't know if it's God talking to me or what, but that's a fight that if Canelo win, then yeah, I'm gonna try to pursue that.
I love that. I love that mentality.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. I love it because that's where it's at. That's what makes all-time greats.
Yeah,
it's like you have to have that mountain to climb.
I'm starting thinking like, man, I probably can be great. I probably can be great. You know what I mean? But you know, it's different in the fight. But I believe in my skills and my ability, and I believe in my team. I believe we'll come up with something that, you know, will be suitable for me to be successful in that fight.
That would probably be the biggest fight in boxing.
Definitely.
That fight would be gigantic.
It would.
That would be a big one. I have to go to that one. That one happens. I got to go there.
You were supposed to go to this last
I couldn't. That was at the UFC.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
It's crazy how they had it on the same day.
Yeah, it sucked.
But it was good because my fight was early. Then y'all fight was later on that night.
He showed energy about the potential battle, drawing similarities to his excitement about a possible fight with Manny Pacquiao earlier in his career.
No, like, I get excited when, I don't know why, I get excited when I talk about Canelo like I used to get excited about Pacquiao.
Really?
You know, I used to get so excited, like, man, I'm going to be able to fight Pacquiao.
Canelo said that Terence Crawford is a great fighter on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, but he stressed that the weight gap between them is a big deal. Canelo agreed that Terence Crawford is a great boxer, but he made it clear that the weight difference between them is a big factor. Charlemagne, like many others, noticed the fight's potential to become a huge show, but Canelo stayed careful, noting that facing someone moving up 3 weight classes is not as rewarding. Canelo repeated his opinion that a fight with Crawford would not be too difficult for him, calling it easy money, and in several interviews he stated that his bigger size, paired with Crate going up from 147 pounds to 168 pounds, would create an edge for him.
Isn't the best fight that could have been made, right? Folks wanted, obviously everybody wants you to fight Benavidez, and now there's conversation about Crawford. Crawford saying he wanted to fight you. Everybody wants to fight you.
Yeah.
Now I saw at the end of the Crawford fight, the how they call him, the Excellency. Yeah, Turkey, His Excellency. The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford.
Fine.
Yeah,
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, so if
I mean,
yeah, you're in. So if the numbers were right with Crawford, you'll do it.
why not? Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So if the money is right, I mean, why not?
How you think he did at that weight, at 154? How you think Crawford did?
You know, they are a weight class for a reason, and you need to ask him. It's different. I know in his mind he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. I like how he fight. That's why there are weight classes.
Yeah,
and he knows now.
He knows now. You think he felt that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I would dare ask you if, I know with the Benavidez question, you get asked this all the time. I almost hate asking you, but you know, if someone's willing to put up the 250 million,
I mean,
would you negotiate down?
No less than 200.
No less than 200.
Ooh.
All right, let's get 200. Hey, y'all, we got enough people in the room. Let's get the money. But you deserve it.
I deserve it. Look,
yes.
They always asking for a fight. Golovkin, Trout, Mayweather, Cotto, Callum Smith, there is Landy Lara, Elio Saunders, Kyle Plan, and I fought everybody. And now I can do whatever I want. I deserve it.
However, this comment has drawn mixed responses, with some seeing it as confidence, while others thinking it might be Canelo dismissing Crawford's skills.
Fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
You know, everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason. You know, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then you never know.
Ann's statement shows the general respect both athletes hold in the fighting world. Canelo and Crawford are seen as athletes who constantly push for greatness, unlike some past matches that may have failed fans. A fight between these two would likely deliver, given their past of not shying away from obstacles.
You know what makes the elite the elite? A lot of them chase money. Terence, he chased greatness.
Yeah.
And I think Canelo chases greatness.
Yeah.
So they're not going to cheat us like Charlo cheated us last night.
She is the parent to famous boxing expert, weighed in on the possible fight, stating that while Crawford is highly skilled, he would need to triple his experience to handle a fighter like Canelo.
He hit Charlo with. And
you was back further than me. Yeah. I wasn't back that far, but you was back further.
Damn, how far was you? He's all the way up there?
Yeah, I was in the nosebleed. No, I was like,
nah, you get money. He got
but I'm
he was comfy where he was comfy.
But I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches.
That's the only thing I worry about.
So how can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can do better than Charlo did last.
This view shows the difference in the type of opponents. Canelo has faced down the sheer strength of the fights he's been involved in at bigger weights. The level of experience Crawford has yet to face.
Accomplish that and beat Canelo Álvarez, become 3-time undisputed. Is that top 10 greatest fighter to ever live? Like, that is incredible. Like, I don't think people, it's not like just becoming 3-time undisputed. You did that on your way. You beat destroyed Errol Spence, and then if you were to beat Canelo Álvarez, that is...
Crawford's bold comments suggested that Canelo might be making reasons to avoid the fight, afraid that a loss to him would damage his reputation. Crawford has constantly expressed his opinion that he poses a real threat to Canelo despite his weight gap.
That was my motivation. Like, you know, it's crazy and it makes me laugh with all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot. About the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career. Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller Amir Khan. Yeah, he
did at 155.
Amir Khan, you know, he fought Jamel Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money, all those guys except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now, that he will with me, but yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat.
He thinks that his skills and planning ability would outweigh the size difference, placing himself as a dangerous opponent.
It would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you. So, you know, he got that in the back of his head. You know, this guy, for one, he's tough. For two, he's a boxer. He moves, he can punch, he can do it all. I can't slip up and lose to this little guy. Then what will my fans think of me? What will my Mexican people think of me? So, you know, it's a big risk for him. Like he said, he don't get nothing out of it, but he does get a lot of it out of it. You know, none of those guys was pound for pound best fighter in the world that he fought when it was coming up in weight. None of those guys. You know, he wasn't getting the amount of money threw at him guaranteed for those guys that he's getting with me. So it just goes to show, you know, the level of respect. I look at it as respect that he give me. I don't look at it as disrespect. I look at it as the level of respect that, you know, he think of me as a fighter.
Terence, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this then, man. If Canelo was the main motivation going forward at almost 37, and you're still on top of your game, you're still, you know, arguably number one pound for pound, but I know you're close with Andre Ward. He left the game on top, undefeated, number one pound for pound. If Canelo isn't going to take the fight, is that something you're starting to think about, walking away from the game undefeated?
Many in the boxing world think that while Crawford is clearly skilled, he might not be physically ready for a fighter like Canelo at 168 pounds. The idea is that changing 3 weight classes in such a short time could limit his ability to perform at his best, especially against a seasoned and bigger opponent like Canelo.
It's your hardest fight of your career?
I mean, like, bro,
that's crazy.
This is his first fight in that division and shit. You know, I'm pretty sure.
It's over with, bro.
Bro, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get better, but it ain't like he got whooped or nothing like that.
Nah, he's not ready for no Canelo. That's what I'm saying.
Expected a lot more. I mean, shit, bro. I was having this conversation last night with the people I was watching the fight.
He was looking slow. Terence Crawford looking slow. The scorecard was fucking off, bro. The scorecard was off. I was salty.
Nah.
That shit was closer than what they said it was.
Terence was motherfucking like Terence was bopping on it. We just used to seeing a different level of power.
Nah, the bopping on Terence.
Terence was getting caught with
a lot of, and that's points.
Hey, but
that they didn't add up.
Hey,
that's points, bro.
Hey, but
that's points that didn't add up, bro.
Hey, but now like Terence was getting off more power shots and more combinations. Like that nigga was hitting it with combos. Like dude was getting nice shots.
On the other hand, fans who support the idea of this fight view it as a showdown between two of the sport's clear best, regardless of weight class. Canelo and Crawford have both won undisputed status in multiple categories, and a fight between them could settle the pound-for-pound issue for good.
Breaking news in the world of combat sports, more specifically boxing, as Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford is apparently in the works and nearly finalised. If this fight happens, boxing's back. It's back. And people will say it's been back, but I think this would solidify that boxing fights, the best versus the best, happens on a consistent basis now. Like we used to get a few good fights every year, but for the past 2 years and year and a half, boxing's been delivering. What a fight this would be. This is really hard to call. Terence Crawford is the slightly longer man in this fight. They both stand at the same height. He's a much more varied boxer in that he can do much more than Canelo, but Canelo's got a great guard, a great counter puncher. I would say he would have done much better when he was much more of a combination puncher as opposed to now where he does a lot of one-shot counters, because I think Crawford's going to be able to make him react big a lot and counter him a lot. Canelo traditionally doesn't do well against southpaws, or as well against southpaws should I say, so I think Crawford's going to fight the majority of this fight in southpaw too. Difficult fight for Crawford. He's daring to be great here, and Canelo is taking a big risk giving him the opportunity. Let's see who comes out on top in this one. Let me know your predictions for this fight.
Given the status of both athletes, many thought this battle to be a crazy prospect and possibly one of the best fights in recent history.
Oh my god, we just got some absolutely absurd boxing news breaking. Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Crawford, targeted for December or January in the United States. Oh my god. I'm not even lying when I say this is literally one of the biggest combat sports fights of all time. And as I said earlier, it's targeted in December or January, so the build-up to this fight is going to be incredible. The fact that it's in the United States is insane. Saudi Arabia has low-key saved boxing. This is an absolutely mega fight. I was not expecting this at 1 in the afternoon, but here we are. Terence Crawford, Canelo Álvarez, targeted for December/January in the United States. Crazy, 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 crazy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and click that follow button for more combat sports videos. Wow.
There is doubt about the fight taking place in the near future due to Carlos's busy schedule, including his usual duties in December and January.
Targeted to fight Terence Bud Crawford in December or January by His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, I'm assuming in Saudi Arabia. Is Canelo willing to go to Saudi? Probably not. If the money is good, Canelo will do this fight. This fight benefits him in no way. So the money's going to have to be tremendous. Now, Bud Crawford, on the other hand, he'll do this fight for $10 million. Hell, Bud Crawford might do this fight for $5 million. But Canelo Álvarez, you're going to have to pay him a good $100 million. I mean, not bluffing. Them Saudi. As great as Saudi is, and as many fighters Saudi has brought in, they're still missing the face of boxing. They're still missing Canelo Álvarez. Is this fight going to happen? I would say no. Canelo's on a very strict schedule of Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day, which doesn't align with December or January. He's going to do Edgar Berlanga, Jamal Charlo, or David Benavidez in September. I don't see this fight happening. If the fight does happen, Don Judah, you could feel me on this one. Bud Crawford's going to get stopped. There's nothing Bud Crawford could do to keep Canelo off of him. You could dip Canelo in butter, smother him in butter, melt him in butter. Bud Crawford still wouldn't be able to keep Canelo Álvarez up off of him. Don't get me wrong, Bud Crawford's great. Arguably #1 pound for pound. Skill for skill, I think Crawford's a lot better than Canelo. But that's at welterweight. He's the most athletic welterweight. He's the strongest welterweight. At super middleweight, whole different conversation. Canelo stops Terence Crawford if they do happen to fight. I don't believe they will.
Additionally, the repeat between Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. might need to happen first, adding to the doubt regarding this big fight.
I kind of have a bit of an update on Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo Álvarez spoke out on the potential future matchup between the two pound-for-pound stars earlier today. What do you have to say about it? Let's take a look at it. Canelo Álvarez asked why he believes Terence Crawford is an easy fight for him. Canelo said, and I quote, "You know, what we saw in the last fight with him versus Israel Madrimov. I think that's why there are weight classes. That's what I think. It's an easy fight for the bottom. I do believe he's higher on the pound for pound. Stylistically, I do believe Terence Crawford presents a lot of issues for Canelo Álvarez at 154, at 147, not at 168. At 168, all those skills just get outweighed by the physical attributes of Canelo Álvarez. And it's not a good fight in my opinion. I think the fight will happen. Canelo Álvarez is still open to the fight taking place. I think he's going to whoop Terence Crawford from bell to bell, rope to rope. I believe it'll be one of the most disappointing fights of the decade in my opinion. He's going to get no credit, just like the Charlo fight. You guys are begging for it. A lot of you guys are going to be disappointed, man. Cabron is going to beat the shit out of Terence Crawford in my opinion.